I'm here at Tempe Sports Complex's dog park with my dog Cersei, enjoying this beautiful weather. It's springtime here in Tempe, and there's so many activities you can do outdoors with your family. Please get out, do something active, enjoy our parks, which are currently being renovated all over the city, and we in the Tempe City Council hope to see you soon.
Hey Keith, good to be with you right here today in our new pickleball courts. It's really great to see people out here enjoying it, even though it's a little hot. I mean, it's still really a great opportunity to get outside early in the morning, late in the evening. We have awesome things to do.
Yeah, the pickleball court's only a couple years old, but still get a lot of play, and you can play throughout the day. So it's opening up at 6 a.m. and usually closes down at 10, and it's a friendly game where people can come, even if you don't have a partner, you can mix in with others.
Right, and we've got parks like in every quarter mile of the city. We have them in our neighborhoods, we have them in our community, and there's something different for everybody to do. So it's a great opportunity, I think, to get outdoors, to stay healthy, and just, get engaged with your neighbors.
We're always looking for new things, new improvements to add to the community.
Another thing Keith and I really like to do too is golf. So we highly encourage you, if you haven't tried out Rolling Hills or Ken McDonald, to get out there. It's really great, a great opportunity. The courses are looking phenomenal right now.
Absolutely, it's a great time. I know we've had a lot of golfers throughout the last year, so play is still available. We have great prices and a great vendor in reference to our restaurants and customer service.
There's a lot of great things to do. We have awesome splash pads. We even have a skate park just right over here. So if you yourself, an adult or a kid, want to try out our skate park, we highly encourage it. Splash pads are open now, Keith, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Opened up 2 weeks ago. We have our 4 splash pads. They'll be open all the way through our fall time of October.
We would love to have your input. If there's anything that you would like to see or like to share, we want to hear from you. So you can email us, you can call us, whatever it may be, but we really hope you tune in.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vice Mayor Randy Keating, and joining me is Councilmember Robin Arredondo-Savage. I didn't have to meet him the other day, too.
No, that's all right. It's okay, Vice Mayor. I don't mind.
I appreciate that. Just a quick note, both Councilmember Arredondo-Savage and I are socially distanced and vaccinated, so we won't be wearing masks today in order to better speak to you and to each other.
I kind of thought it was just because you didn't like me. So
Well, that too.
Yeah,
I don't want you close to me. Yeah, the smell's not great either. But.
Oh, it's starting. Okay.
So we'll get right into it. Today we want to talk about some of the good things we're doing in the city of Tempe, and some of the things that you can do outside here while the weather is beautiful.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I think one of the things that we can definitely both agree upon is how much we enjoy and really appreciate our parks, and how much we hear from our residents of what an important part of their life it is too. So we kind of thought we'd be great to just start a little bit about where we are and what's happening with our parks, and you'll kind of see the evolution. We've got a really nice slideshow here, I think, that will kind of hopefully answer some of your questions that you may have in regards to what's coming to your park, what has been happening, how can you participate and get involved. So with that, Vice Mayor?
Yeah, great. One of the things that this slide tells us is for Tempe, we've invested a lot of time and money into our parks. We know from talking to our residents, we know from our community feedback surveys that parks are an important part of Tempeans' life, no matter what part of the city they live in. And Tempe has a park of every square mile. And as you can see on the slide, that puts us, above the average for a city our size. So I'm certainly proud of the investment the city has made in our parks, in public spaces. Do you have anything to add there?
Yeah, no, I think one of the things that we've really realized over this last year and going through the pandemic, how important our parks are to our residents, to the families, to be able to bring people together, to get outside, to do some recreation, stay healthy. So it's really been important to us that we continue to invest in our parks. And as you can see on this next slide, it talks a little bit about some of the things that we've actually been able to do. The projects that have been completed since 2015 that was kind of an earmark year for us of when we decided, hey, it was really important to make sure that we are maintaining our parks, but not just maintaining, but actually enhancing our parks. I mean, things change, activities change. There's a lot of really cool things that are happening, and it's different at every single park, and we work really hard to make sure that our residents, our neighborhoods, have an opportunity to get involved and get engaged and tell us what they want at their park. So I'll let the Vice Mayor talk a little bit about this slide.
Yeah, sure. So as you pointed out, we are aggressively renovating and improving all of our parks. They went through about 10 years of deferred maintenance during the Great Recession, and since we've come out of that, we've decided to reinvest in our public spaces. I recently was at Hollis Park with the mayor, and it was recently renovated. Not only did they have new playground equipment, but they added an adult fitness center, well, adult fitness apparatus, I should say. and a water fountain that you could refill water bottles in, which I thought was pretty unique and pretty cool. I hadn't seen that at a city park quite yet, so I thought that was awesome, and the park was absolutely beautiful. I got to plant a tree there as part of our urban canopy program.
Wait, you planted a tree?
Well, I filled in a hole that was dug for me.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
I just want to clarify.
Yeah, the mayor dug the hole himself.
Oh,
He didn't want any help. Yeah,
Right,
it was
no, I
weird.
understand, yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, and it was great to see, the good work being done in our parks. And recently in my park, next to my house, they added little dispensers for dog poop bags, which is still very convenient, right?
We saw your dog on the video earlier,
yeah,
so,
exactly. And she
yeah,
poops a
probably
lot.
a really
so.
good thing to have close by.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the little things, right? They add to the quality of life. They help you enjoy the space a little bit more. If you might forget your dog poop bag, and hey, look, now at Redden Park, you got all the bags you could possibly want.
I get it. And we highly encourage people to utilize the dog poop bags.
Absolutely,
right?
yes,
I think
yes.
that's really good. Make sure you clean up. I know we're going to this slide, but if we could go back just one more, just to the previous slide that the Vice Mayor mentioned. And this is something that you can actually find on our website too, to really understand where we've been and where we're going and what park maybe near you is next on the agenda and some of the things that we want to do here. So as you can see, there's Allegra Park, Arredondo Park, Benedict Park. I mean, there's so many different parks that are on the list and things that we really want to do to make sure that we are enhancing those parks, just like the Vice Mayor said. So I would encourage, if you're curious about what's happening in our neighborhood parks, take a minute, get on our website, give us a call. We'd love to be able to share with you what we've been able to complete and what we hope to complete in the years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the great things about Tempe is a place that everyone wants to be and has been continuing to grow nonstop since World War II. And one of the questions we always get is how are we planning ahead for this growth? The census just came back, and Tempe's population is over 200,000 now. So as Tempe continues to grow, city staff and the council's very cognizant of that. So we recently heard on Thursday the Parks and Recreation Master Plan, our 10-year roadmap, to kind of figure out not only how are we going to improve our parks, but how are we going to expand on them for our expanding population. There's a lot of neat things in that presentation, which is available on our website. One of the the big things that's coming is the Clark Park remodel and the addition of the pool, which has been, as you know, probably 12 years in the making, 12, 13 years in the making. So, very happy that that's finally moving along, and we're going to do a lot of good things as far as expanding our park capacity over the next 10 years. Pickleball, no one had heard of pickleball a couple years ago, and now
Right.
it seems like every park is getting a pickleball court, and I hear it's a lot of fun. Haven't quite played it yet,
I
but
just want to say the Vice Mayor has not accepted the challenge of a little pickleball, so we are working on that. Hopefully we'll get him to get a little bit more engaged. As you saw in the video before, we had a great time playing some pickleball with some local residents and even actually some people that were out, not from Tempe, but they really enjoy coming to our pickleball court. It's been really a lot of fun over at the Tempe Sports Complex, over by where you were with your dog. But also, I mean, another thing too that we've realized that it's really important to people are playgrounds. People want playgrounds and the place to be able to take their kids and have a really good time, and ball fields. So as you can see in this particular slide, as our population grows, we've got to make sure that we are addressing the needs and we have the right amenities, so we don't overuse, but actually have the ability so everybody can have an opportunity to use these amenities that are important to them.
yeah, absolutely. Right now the weather's absolutely beautiful. Oh,
Oh.
sure, yeah.
Oh, all right. Oh, great.
Who's that?
Okay, I wonder who that is.
Are we planning any special needs swings additions?
That's interesting. I don't know that. Do you?
Well, we actually have a new initiative that what we are making sure that we do is one that not only all of our parks, that they are accessible, but they are inclusive. So we have encouraged, when we do the park renovations, that they do have equipment that is adaptable equipment. So it's really important that there is a piece based on the square footage of the park that actually has equipment that can be for all abilities. So yes, it is very important. Is it a specific swing set? That I cannot say, because that would be up to the neighborhood in regards to what piece of equipment they think is a good fit for them. So thank you, Jamie, for the question. Back to the great
All right, so
Vice Mayor.
okay. So back to how beautiful the weather
Yes, back
is.
to the beautiful weather, right?
I actually went to dinner with my uncle the other day, and it was 72 degrees out, and I was in shorts, and it's freezing. He's from Michigan, and he thought it was great, but I was like, this is absolutely brutal right now. I need a coat or something. But anyway,
It was a little, and then the rain, we had a little rain
Yeah,
the
a
other
little bit of
day, too,
rain.
so, we don't know what to do when it starts to rain.
So it's beautiful outside. There's so many things you can do outside in Tempe right now. From we have water equipment like splash pads, of course, public pools. I mentioned the adult fitness set at Hollis Park, tennis, pickleball, basketball, soccer fields. There's just a lot of outdoor activities. Dog park. I saw me and Cersei at the dog park. One of her favorite things to do. There's so many things you can do outside right now in Tempe. As not only is the weather better, but more and more people are getting vaccinated and are comfortable with going outside and being in public spaces. So we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about our favorite things to do outside.
Right. Yeah, and I think too, you mentioned it too, Vice Mayor, is in regards to our tennis facilities. We just redid our tennis facilities, and they are really world-class, and it's great to see so many people out there utilizing them and coming, from even outside the state, and talking so positively about the improvement that we've been able to do. But, a lot of these great things that we love, our swimming pools, our splash pads, the pickleball court, we talk about how important it is to get involvement from our community, but these things don't happen by themselves. So, I really do appreciate working with the council that, also too feels the same way about how important these things are, but our staff.
Yeah.
We would not be able to do this without a really phenomenal staff that cares about this community and works really, really hard to ensure that we have great resources, great services, just really good opportunities. And I think another thing to think about right now too is summer's coming up. We have summer camps.
Yep.
Right now we have some that are virtual and some that will be in person. So it's going to be a really good mix of different services, different types of events. From archery to STEM camps. All kinds of really cool things that I would say highly encourage people to take a look at and see if there's something that fits for you, because our staff are really amazing and they're always trying to fit the needs of what our residents want. So just a great shout out to everybody that works really hard to make this community as phenomenal as it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Our staff does wonderful work, particularly in this area, because this is such an important issue, not only to the council, but our residents as well.
Right,
So
right on.
they do great. All right, so Rio Salado and Kiwanis Park Master Plan. So these are two very different regional parks, as the subhead there says. Kiwanis Park, not too far from my house, and Tempe Beach Park, in the downtown area. Both are great for events. Both have a whole host of different amenities, a whole host of different activities. Both are what are considered regional. So what we have in Tempe, we have regional and we have local neighborhood parks, and they offer different levels of amenities and different levels of activities there. So I like that Kiwanis and Beach Park kind of bookend our city, where no matter where you are, you're not very far from what could be a very large and a different experience than maybe what you're used to in your neighborhood park.
Hey, and you can go fishing at both places.
That's
So
true.
That's pretty cool too, right?
Yeah.
And you can rent a boat.
Didn't even
We've
think about
got
that.
like a rental facility, so you can check out the different parks from different perspectives. We highly encourage it. I think now at Tempe Beach Park, they actually have like a donut boat. I'm not saying that there's actually donuts on the boat, Randy.
Yeah,
so
I
that
mean-
might not be something that you want to do, but they're shaped like a donut. You get to hang out. They got an umbrella on the top. Could be super cool.
I mean, I wouldn't mind a boat full of donuts. Like,
I-
let's be
yeah,
real here.
Let's
I mean, I'm
just
not.
get real. And
Yeah.
I'm not a really good fisher person, so
Yeah,
it's
I'm not.
probably not for me. And if you would row me around in one of those things, that would be pretty cool.
Well, maybe we can get
I
a
don't have to
thing.
work out or anything.
Maybe we can get a thing where you can fish donuts out of the lake, like
Oh my
donuts that are
God.
like sealed in some sort of bag.
Yes.
That would be a good way.
That would be great.
Yeah, I
And
mean, we
I'm
should.
sure that's you probably in that picture sailing, right?
Oh,
Or is
yeah.
that you crewing?
Yeah, it's
that
me
boat?
crewing. I don't like passive activities. I want to be the guy
Oh, yeah.
putting
you're
the muscle
worker.
behind.
You're the workhorse.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
I got you. All right.
Yep.
I'm
I-
the one right there on the side making fun of you.
Yeah,
On
probably.
the side.
I recently actually bought a inflatable kayak, which is fun to take out on Tempe Town
Ooh,
Lake. Yeah,
okay.
just load it up, and it's easy to get into the lake and row around for 10 minutes, and I get too tired and go
Well,
home.
you know what? You're going to do that. I'm going to take the donut boat out.
That's fine.
All right,
Okay.
good. And then here's Kiwanis Park too, which is a really great place. And we talk about, it's called The Cloud, which is the splash pad over at Kiwanis, which isn't too old, it's just a couple years old.
Yeah.
And it's just a really good, fun adventure for anybody and everybody. And remember, I mean, all these things that are at our park they're free, not necessarily boat rentals, obviously, but you can go to the splash pad, that's free. You can go hang out on the lake, walk around the lake, whether it's at Tempe Beach Park or Kiwanis. In fact, and I'm going to give my niece just a shout out, because at Kiwanis Park, they did a cross-country meet there with our local school districts.
Oh.
And it was really cool to see those middle school kids, I mean, better them than me, out there running around doing their 1.5 or 2 miles. And, you know, what a just a great partnership and use of our parks to get our kids and our families, you know, back out there again and doing some really fun, cool activities before it does get a little bit hot.
Yeah, absolutely. The cool thing about Kiwanis too is every time I'm there, there's a lot of folks there, whether they're in the covered shaded areas or they're just playing in the grass or playing, you know, on the soccer fields. And on the weekends, there's also usually food trucks, which I think is really cool. You can grab some coffee or breakfast. I was there for a socially distanced brunch with Tempe Young Professionals the other week. And I didn't bring any food, but there was luckily enough, there was plenty of food trucks there
I've heard
for
about
me.
your cooking abilities, so is that probably why they asked you not to bring it?
Yeah, they don't want to. They're not interested in eating SpaghettiOs or fried eggs. I would imagine. Not
Right out
not
of
for
the can?
breakfast anyway.
SpaghettiOs right out of the can?
Not out of the can. I have some.
You
I
got
have
standards.
some
You
decency.
got some standards.
That's right. Yeah, so Kiwanis is always a lot of fun. It's very close to a lot of cool restaurants too, right on that baseline and mill area. There's a
Right.
bunch of great places to eat and drink there around there as well.
Hey, and I tell you too, at Kiwanis, I played a lot of softball on those softball fields that are there, and I think that, you know, whether it's for youth or for the adults, it's just really great facility and a lot of fun. So many cool things that are happening there, and that's where our pickleball courts are.
Yeah.
You know, out on Tempe. So we just have some really cool things going on in the city of Tempe, especially at Kiwanis. We love that place.
Yeah, so here's some things to do while it's still cool outside. One of the ones I want to point out is the A Mountain Challenge, and that's being put on by the Downtown Tempe Authority. And apparently you can't cheat at this, because the challenge is they want you to walk up a mountain as many times as you can through a certain period of time, but you have to scan a QR code, so you actually have to do it. I was just going to claim I did it every other day.
Well,
No, you don't have to do that, so you can cheat.
well,
You
we're
should've-
not cheaters.
yeah, well,
We're
no
not
one,
cheaters.
no one in
And
this
so
city would cheat.
We are highly encouragers and supporters of those that have taken on the challenge and would recommend, hopefully, oh, yes, Chris, is there another question? No, I'm doing the challenge. Oh, Chris Baxter's doing the challenge. How many
Well-
times you gone up, Chris? 15 times.
I'm gonna need visual evidence of that, though.
Yeah.
Apparently, you
You're
can
gonna
cheat.
Oh,
okay.
okay,
All right,
yeah.
fine.
Well, you know what? We see a lot of it on Facebook. A lot of people out there actually working.
Yeah.
I know we've got some other staff members that have engaged in that too. So I think that's awesome and another great way to support our local community and our partners. So very cool.
Yeah, it's a really innovative idea to not only get people outside, get them active, but, you know, again, it's something that people can do outside and be socially distanced about if
Yep.
as the pandemic is still going
Right
on.
on. Yeah. And seeing that photo, that guy's fishing over there.
Yeah, for donuts, I
Right?
heard.
And there's these people walking up a mountain.
That meditation
look like you,
labyrinth
though,
looks
Randy.
pretty cool.
Doesn't look like you. Oh yeah, that does look pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yoga, one
Yeah.
of my favorite pastimes, which is
Yeah,
really cool.
I'm not sure that's that cool.
You know, I heard a rumor we might be able to do a little yoga this afternoon, and I cannot wait to see you do some yoga moves. It's going to be pretty great.
Well, whoever told you I was doing yoga probably cheats at the A Mountain Challenge.
Okay. Probably.
Okay. So let's talk
I'm glad we're
about,
having fun.
we're having fun.
We hope you guys are having
Yeah.
fun if you're
yeah.
watching.
Hopefully
This
there's
is
people
really-
actually watching this on Facebook, but those guys are pretty cool.
Yeah, they might be picking that, or not, or not.
So let's talk about how Tempe is fighting COVID-19. So I don't know if you just want to go over these bullet points. One of the things that recently made headlines, it was the city of Phoenix and the city of Tempe, as well as some other cities around the state, are still enforcing their mask mandate. You know, and that is an effort to slow the spread of the virus and keep everyone as safe as possible, as there is some sort of return to normalcy going on as businesses are more comfortable opening. There's no longer restrictions on occupancy and things like that, no longer socially distanced restrictions. So, Tempe has chosen to keep its mask mandate, and I think that's probably a very smart move, considering, how the virus has affected not only the state of Arizona, but the country and the world.
Right, and I think it's really cool too that over at ASU at the Desert Financial Arena, they're actually doing vaccines. So if you are interested in getting a vaccine, you haven't had one yet, we would definitely suggest that you make an appointment and go ahead and get that going.
Oh, and someone sent me, I posted this on my Instagram today, Mountain Park Health Center or clinic or whatever the C is in that organization in Tempe is vaccinating everyone 16 and under, no appointment necessary. So starting today.
That's very cool.
So if you haven't had your vaccine and you're 16 years old in the city of Tempe, go up to a Mountain Park Health Center. It's on Broadway and McClintock, or is it
Yep,
Southern and
right.
McClintock, in
No,
between?
Broadway and McClintock.
Yeah, and make sure you get your shots, and the more people that get their shots, the faster things will return to fully normal.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we're trying to do is just really keep everybody informed too. So we do have a newsletter, and we try to send that out, and you can proactively actually look online and find out what's going on, what's happening in COVID. And one of the things that we've been talking about, and Chris Bachter's been a really great advocate of this, is just ensuring that we remember to support our local businesses and how important that is, that we remember who really the foundation of this community is, and that's our businesses, and it's been a struggle for them this last year, and I think anything that we can do to support them and utilize their services or frequent their restaurants, whatever it may be, however you feel comfortable, let's just keep that in the back of our minds of the importance of ensuring that, everybody kind of gets through this pandemic together.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That actually reminded me of something. When this first started, I worked with a local app developer to develop Open Tempe, and that still exists today. And in fact, it's something that I want our council committee to work on, is expanding that. Still exists today. There's still pandemic specials going on in local businesses, so you can download that app in the Google or Apple App Store, whatever those are called, and it's free and it's available to use, and I would encourage you guys to do that. It's had over 1,000 downloads, so that's pretty good.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
That's pretty
That's
good.
really great.
Excited
and
about
if you're not
that.
comfortable going into a restaurant yet, you can always get something to go and take
Yep.
it home and enjoy it there. So
Absolutely.
And then you can watch Facebook Live and you can watch us. It's
so-
probably going to be a rerun, right?
Yeah,
It'll
yeah, totally.
Probably be a rerun later.
Something interesting too about getting things to go that I didn't know. If you do like a DoorDash or you do like a Postmates, not only do they charge you extra, but they charge the restaurant as well. So it makes more sense. Just if you're gonna go pick it up and you don't want it delivered, it makes more sense just to call the restaurant directly and save them money, save yourself some money, and keep the money in the local economy. One thing about this slide I do want to point out that Chris told me is that you can see in this bullet point, you can see how many people in each Tempe zip code are vaccinated. 85284 has a 70% vaccination rate. So 85284 is doing a great job of being vaccinated.
There you go,
And,
85284.
yeah, and others aren't far behind, but it's important that as many in Tempe gets vaccinated as soon as possible,
Agreed.
especially with all the resources now that we have available to do so.
Right.
All right, so historic preservation. For the first time in 20 years, we'll be updating this plan. And, historic preservation is a very important part of Tempe. And I know the council takes it very seriously. We are a city that has a rich and long history that is important that we keep fresh and keep, relevant in people's minds. So,
Well, and I think it's still important that we hang on to our history too,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
That we celebrate and remember, where we came from and how we got here. So we want to definitely embrace the past, but yet look forward to the future. And I think this is a really great way to do it. And the fact that it hasn't been updated, like you said, in 20 years, it's definitely probably about time. So we have a lot of really good people that are centrically engaged in this, but we're actually hoping to get some more involvement from the rest of our residents in our community, and so they can share with us, what's important to them and how we move forward, and make sure that our plan moving forward is something that everybody can buy into.
yeah, and I was told, I believe it was today or yesterday, that the survey opened up and is available now at tempe.gov/forum. So please go on our website and register your feelings on historic preservation. What do you want to see out of this plan? And we always obviously take into account and respect deeply what our residents have to say.
Right? Absolutely, we sure do.
All right.
And then moving on, I think too, when we talk about plans and our character areas, the Papago North Tempe is the next up and coming character area plan. And that's kind of one of the ways that we understand what it is that neighborhood is looking for, what they want, be a part of it, where you want things, what you'd like to see in that area. And it's really important, if you haven't participated, to please do. It's from every aspect, not only the residents, but from the business owners, just to really understand what's important to them. So you can see the next meeting is May 11th from noon to 6. That's a whole meeting? Noon to 6 is a 6-hour meeting? Oh, it takes 10-6. I'm like, what?
That's like a council meeting.
10-6. That is a council meeting. I
Yeah.
just was kind of rolling with it, like, oh, that must be a council meeting. Okay, no, kidding. So noon and 6, and you get an opportunity to go in and then just dotocracy. I think that's very interesting. So if you haven't participated in any type of a planning procedure for the city of Tempe. We do like our dots. So you will have an opportunity to share with us what's important to you and where you would like to see it.
And this is such an interesting area of the city, too. There's a lot of stuff going on up there with the recently created Papago Preserve, the annexation of the county island. It's an area that's going to see a lot of changes, hopefully all positive changes in the near future. So it's really important we hear from our residents that live up there what they want to see in their area.
Absolutely. No, thanks, Randy. Really good. Let's see. Oh, very cool. One of the things that just happened on Monday evening was our community salutes. And for those of you that aren't familiar with what community salutes is, it's our opportunity as a community, as a Tempe community, to just celebrate and appreciate and acknowledge those young individuals who have committed to serve in the military. So all these people, these are photos, I think, from past community salutes, but we had about 30 recruits on Monday night, and all 30 of those individuals have committed to one branch or the other.
Oh, wow.
Really, after high school, will be going into basic training and, taking their service to a completely different level. So this is a great opportunity for us, and I just really want to say thank you to those individuals that make that happen. Not only just to the recruits, the recruiters, but the families, because it is a sacrifice for those individuals, for those families of what they're giving up, and just a great appreciation. And we want to just make sure that they know that we are thankful for their service. We hope that they have a really great journey, and then they come back to Tempe. We want to stay connected and make sure that they know we appreciate them and would love them to be future residences right here in the city of Tempe. So.
That's really cool. That's a great event, and I do applaud those young men and women who are taking that step and deciding to step up and serve. That's absolutely great, and I share your sentiments fully. Hopefully they go and they serve, whether it's one enlistment or if they're going in as officers or if it's a full career in the military, but they do end up back in Tempe.
Yeah, I totally, and people probably don't know, Randy and I are both veterans, so it's really cool that, to see us, I think, take this to another level. And I'm sure we would have thought it would have been super cool. It always brings back memories right before I went to basic training. I don't think anybody really cared that I went. But to be able to have this and a way to touch the parents and just really let them know that we're thinking about them, I think that would have been really cool back in the day, at least back in my day.
Yeah, I think
maybe not as far as mine.
Yeah, I think my parents were probably pretty glad I was getting out of
Yeah,
there
maybe
and
mine
doing
probably were
something.
like,
So
"See
they were
ya.
probably, all right,
See ya
when are
later."
you leaving?
Here's your
when
bag.
are you coming back? Are you coming back? You don't have to. You can move to Arizona, which has ended up what
I like to
happened.
think my parents were crying and they were sad, but I don't think that's probably true.
My parents don't really drink, but I'm sure they had a party that night. Yeah.
Probably did. We totally did.
So do we, okay, we have another
We
slide.
got a couple more slides to
Okay.
get through here.
So, as you may or may not know, we recently moved to a council committee system, and Councilmember Arredondo-Savage and I are co-chairs of the Workforce Readiness and Economic Vitality Committee. I'm told it's the best committee, best run, most thoughtful, coolest, best looking, coolest.
All the above.
All the above, yeah.
All the above.
So, we had our first meeting on Monday, and it was great, and we'll have our next meeting. It's the last Monday of every month, and our next meeting is Monday, May 24th at 3 p.m., so I hope you'll join us. Workforce readiness and economic vitality cover a whole range of issues that you may care about, so we're always willing, if you have any ideas that you want to see us address or things you want us to discuss or actions you want to take, please do send it to Councilmember Arredondo-Savage and I, and we'll definitely take up those topics.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to do it. And I know we just want to give Alex a shout out for everything that he does, try to keep us straight and together and keep our meetings efficient. But I like that he's made the nickname Rev.
Rev, oh yeah,
Rev.
that's very clever.
Rev.
That's very clever,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, so he keeps us on a tight schedule. So we
Oh,
have
yeah.
60 minutes and 60 minutes only.
Yeah, we went 64 last time, but there was a lot of,
Well,
we got to work
Randy
out
was
some.
doing a lot of talking.
Yeah,
so-
yeah,
I'm sorry, the vice mayor.
A lot of bluster there.
Yeah, it happens. How about how great we are?
Right.
All right.
About how great we are, yeah. Are there any questions?
Yep. Got one?
I don't have any questions.
You don't have any questions for us?
No.
You know what, and that's okay if we don't have any questions, because I think that we've answered so many great things right here. And you
We
can
just-
always
there's so much
submit 'em, we
information
can
out.
answer them later. It's not a big deal. We
You can email them, we'll have
appreciate
staff answer.
it.
Fine.
Yeah, we can let Tim and Alex and Chris, they're really good at this stuff.
Sorry, we got 30 more minutes.
Well, guess what we're gonna be doing?
I had a question.
Oh.
What about world-class soccer fields and having fields with grass rather than not grass?
Rather than not grass?
Yeah.
Well, the Tempe,
Well-
we do have some, The question was relevant to world-class soccer fields, right? And it's very interesting. I think the evolution of soccer, for me growing up, soccer really wasn't as popular as it is now, at least just for me. But I will tell you, that is a really phenomenal sport. It's great for youth, and I think it's incredible for adults, and it's one of those things that really brings a lot of people together. So we do have some pretty great fields over at the Tempe Sports Complex, and they get utilized significantly, and they are grass. Right, Sean? I mean, they're all grass and great. So that's kind of one of the things that has been up and coming in the sense of where we are with soccer. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look at that slide to see if soccer fields were a part of it. But I think where we are right now, I don't foresee that coming up in the near future anytime soon. I'm looking at Sean for a little help, but I don't think that's the case. But I don't want to misspeak either.
Yeah, I'm with you on, obviously soccer's growing in popularity, and even when I was a kid, not that we were that far apart.
That was a slam. But
soccer wasn't popular. It's obviously going through a boom right now, and I have no problem if staff recommends it into investing more in our soccer fields as the sport continues to grow in popularity around the city and the country. So,
yeah.
Oh, here comes Keith. Keith can come in. He can answer this
Sean
question.
got hurt, right? Like he's got that brace on his leg from playing soccer. So that's pretty cool. I'm sure he's got a really good story about it. That's why he's saying he can't do yoga, because he's got like this brace. But we have a really awesome instructor that I'm sure can pull you through it.
They can help me out for sure, but the demand on all of our park amenities is great. We don't get that off season typically that others get. I need a microphone.
Here
Yeah.
you go, Sean.
Okay. So typically our demand on our facilities is great. We do have really great facilities here in Tempe, and we take pride in that. And our parks maintenance crew are out there year round trying to keep these up to date and green. But that demand gets pretty heavy. Even when it's not programmed, we have people going out there and taking advantage of those fields and the open space. So it truly is trying to find that balance of how do we allow the field time to recover from all that active use versus you drive by, you see an open field, it's like, why can't I get on it? So we're always constantly trying to figure out that balance.
I think you brought
and
up
how
a
we
good
move
point, John.
forward.
That's something really good to remember, that we can't utilize the fields 24/7 all the time. They do need to have an opportunity to recover just a little bit and get some maintenance. So that's really important. And of course, just a great shout out to our staff members that are out there daily. If you see those Tempe trucks, most likely some of those are probably working in the parks and doing everything that they can to maintain our equipment and our fields, and just a great appreciation to them and what they're doing. So hopefully that somewhat answered that question in regards to what we're doing with soccer. But if you haven't tried out the Tempe Sports Complex soccer fields, I would highly suggest you do. They're pretty great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, one of the things that we actually do in the classes that we offer in the city of Tempe is yoga classes, right? So we have some inside, some out in the park, all kinds of places and things to do. So as they're getting things set up here.
Well, one thing I want to add as well is if you watch today and didn't put in a question, or you think of a question later, feel free to email us at councilcommunicator@tempe.gov, and we'll get an answer to whatever your question may be.
Sounds good. Sounds great. We're looking forward to it. And again, I just want to say thanks to everybody that helped kind of pull this out together. We really do appreciate you guys. We love what we do. We love
Absolutely.
this community, but we realize we can't do it alone. So our staff is really important to us, and our residents. Thank you guys so very much, for being patient with us as we kind of get through and we do our best to continue to provide great services and continue to enhance our parks and try to make sure that we have all the resources that you guys need to also be successful in your own lives and within your families.
And I'll mention really quickly, we're at the Tempe History Museum right now, and they have a very cool video game exhibit going on, and you can't see it on camera, but it's actually pretty awesome. So I'd encourage you to come by, bring your family. It is open for business, and come check out a history of video games here in the city of Tempe.
Yeah, and then remember too, if you are interested in some of the services that we provide, some of the camps, some of the classes, just go ahead and register. You can register online, or you can go to some of our multi-gen centers. So that would be the best way to do it. I guarantee you will find something for you, for people within your family, that will be a perfect fit.
Absolutely.
Yeah? All right,
Okay.
Randy, let's do this. Are we ready? Okay.
Okay. So we're going to just start with some breath work. Breath is the core of a lot of yoga. So focusing on the breath, bringing that observation to the breath, and having it help you stay present on your mat. So you can bring your hands to your thighs, maybe down toward your feet. You can even go heart center if that's something that is calling to you today. So on your exhale, empty out your lungs, press out all the air. And we're going to do some deep belly breathing. So on your inhale, use your diaphragm, pull that breath really deep down into your belly. Hold it at the top for just a moment, and then slowly let that air back out again. Use that diaphragm again to breathe really deep into your belly. Fill it up all the way to the top. Hold it for a second. And then begin to let it go. And just take a few more of those breaths on your own. Just really bringing the attention of your body into your breath. We'll try some yoga that's accessible to everybody. We'll do a little bit of challenging poses, but we'll try to keep it pretty accessible for everybody. How's that sound?
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
So let's take one more breath. Begin to inhale it all the way up to the top. And then just let that breath drain out. And begin to move into a tabletop on your mat. So you're going to stack your shoulders over your elbows and wrists, your hips over your knees. And we're going to start with some cat-cows. So this is just getting into the spine, beginning to warm it up. On your inhale, lift your chin, lift your tailbone. Your belly's going to fall closer down to the mat. That's your cow pose. On your exhale, round your spine up toward the ceiling. Pull your belly up and in for your cat. Just keep moving to warm up the spine into that cat and cow. Inhaling to lift your chin and your tail. Exhaling to round your spine. A lot of yoga at the beginning is making sure that you're warming up the body in a way that it's ready to move into the poses that we get into. So a lot of early stretches can help with the success of that. A lot of yoga is also core work, so stop it back into your neutral tabletop. Go for that long, flat spine so that, if someone came by and put a little coffee cup on your back, that it would stay. Pull your belly up and in. We're going to do a little bit of core work here. So on your inhale, lift your right arm forward and then lift your left leg back behind you. Keep your belly pulled up and in. You want to take your left hand and press it down into the mat so that you're lifting out of that left shoulder. And then just lift your left heel in line with your left glute. Take an inhale here, reach. And then exhale, let it go. On your next inhale, we're going to get that opposite side. So reach your left arm forward, then your right foot back. You can press down with the top of your left foot too, as well as your right hand, just to help with stability. Inhale, take a reach, and then exhale, let it go. Take a couple more cat-cows, inhaling to lift your chin, exhaling to round your spine. Yeah, usually we do have some music when we do this, but that's okay. We're going to come into our first down dog of class. So this is a pose that often is sort of the home base for a lot of yoga practices. We are doing vinyasa flow right now, a power yoga. So what you want to do is bring your body into an upside down V shape. So lifting your hips up in the air and then pressing into your hands and feet. So in order to measure what's a good length for your down dog, I want you to come up into an upper push-up plank just for a moment. When you're in that upper push-up plank, then bring your hips up and back. See if you had to move your hands or feet too much, or a little or a lot. You want to hopefully just move them a little. If you need to shorten it, that's totally fine. You want to let your heels just sort of sink down toward the mat. Notice if bending your knees in space would get your hips a little bit higher. The chest is going to come a little bit closer down to the mat. And then you want to press into all of your fingers. So this is our sort of our home base. Like I said, this is down dog. On your inhale, you want to lift your right leg all the way up toward the ceiling as high as you can. If you need to bring your knee down to the mat, you can do that as well. And then just open up your hip. And then move your leg around in space. This is about warming up your joints. We're just warming up our joints just for a moment here. Take an inhale, reach up. Then exhale, bring that leg back down. One more side here. Inhale that left leg all the way up. Just bend into your knee and just move it around. Like I said, you can bring your knee down to the mat if that would help here. You're just lubricating your joints here. This is helping with it. All right, inhale that leg all the way up and then bring it back down. Now what I want you to do is just softly walk to the front of your mat and hang heavy in your forward fold. Yeah, so this is going to help you stretch out your hamstrings, but if you need to bend your knees here a whole bunch, you can do that. It's also going to help you elongate your spine. So if you want to reach for opposite elbows, just to get your head and your chest a little bit closer down to your mat and your thighs, you can do that. Maybe you sway back and forth a little bit. Yeah. Just letting the body warm up here. Letting those hamstrings warm up. Yeah. Sean's all the way, got his hands down on the mat. Check into your feet. Check into your feet. You want them to be about hips width distance apart here. We're going to inhale into a half lift. So reach the crown of your head forward. Pull the belly up and in. That spine really straightens out, just like that tabletop that we were in just a moment ago. So pull your belly up and in. Take an inhale to reach forward. And then exhale, relax back down. On your next inhale, reach your arms up toward the ceiling. You're going to come into our mountain pose. So you want to reach your hands up. Maybe you spread your fingers wide. While you're doing that, you want to relax your shoulders down your back. And then just tuck your tailbone slightly. Press down into your feet. All you're doing here is just standing with a little bit of attention. Yeah. Maybe you even close your eyes. Just focus on your breath for a moment. Maybe just roll your pinkies in toward the center. That's going to help relax those shoulders down the back. Yeah, awesome. On your inhale, I want you to reach up. On your exhale, forward fold, dive back down. We're going to take that a couple more times here. So on your inhale, reach all the way up, come back into that mountain. Take out that pause that we did. Just reach up, maybe even back for a back bend. And on your exhale, forward fold. Take it 2 more times here on your own. Just moving with your breath. Guys look awesome. You're professionals. Yes, we are. Okay. Now inhale back into your half lift. Reach the crown of your head forward. You might even bring the weight forward into your toes. And on your exhale, bring your hands down. Step your feet back into an upper push-up plank. So if you need to use your knees here to make this a more sustainable posture, you can always bring your knees down to the mat. Otherwise, try to stack your shoulders over your elbows and wrists. Keep your belly pulled up and in. We're going to do something called our flow. It's what connects all of the sequences that we put together as we move. On your inhale, you want to shift your weight a little bit forward if your knees are up. On your exhale, lower down halfway. Keep your elbows in. Inhale to bring your heart through. This is your up dog. Yeah, shine your heart up toward the ceiling. Awesome. And then on your exhale, come back into that down dog. Nice, guys. Everyone's doing it awesome. So that's what's going to connect our sequences. When I say take a flow, you're going to do that upper to lower push-up, up dog to down dog, using your knees, using any variations that you might want to take in there. On your inhale, I want you to reach your right leg up and back. On your exhale, I want you to just step it through, bring it right behind your right foot, or right hand, sorry. And then I want you to bring your left heel down to the mat. We're going to set up for a warrior one pose. So on your inhale, just reach your arms up. Biceps frame your ears here. Yeah, see? Awesome. Press down into your left pinky toe, and you want to try to just shift this left hip a little bit more forward. So notice if walking your right leg out to the right will help with that. Just like we did in mountain, you want to roll the pinkies in, let the shoulders relax down the back. Awesome work. Yes, very good. And you want to try to stack this front knee over the front ankle. So take a moment, take a breath here. On your inhale, reach up. On your exhale, we're going to go into warrior two, which just means opening up. So your right arm's going to come forward, your left arm's going to come back. You can widen your stance if that would feel a little bit better in your hips. Shoulders stay relaxed down your back. That's a thing in yoga, you never want to hold on to any tension where you don't have to hold on to tension. So keep that belly pulled up and in, keep your shoulders stacked up over your hips. Take an inhale, reach. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down, step that foot back, and do that flow. So if you need to use your knees, bring them down, and come into a lower push-up, into an up dog, and then back into down dog. We're going to do one more side. On your inhale. Yeah, and then we're going to do a little bit of balancing, and then we're going to come down into some floor poses. So inhale that left leg up, step it through, bring that back heel down, inhale your arms up, biceps frame your ears. So press down again into pinky toe, shift your hip a little bit more forward, and just relax the shoulders down your back. See, that's awesome. On your inhale, reach up. On your exhale, open up warrior two. So left arm forward, right arm back. Yeah, keep that bend in your front knee as much as you can. Your shoulders relaxed down your back. Can't believe Randy's missing this. Oh, take an inhale, reach really wide. And then cartwheel your hands down to the mat. Step your foot back and take your flow. Nice flow, Robin.
Oh, thank you.
All right. I think we should do a little bit of balancing. So just walk your feet up to the front of your mat. Okay. And when you get there, just bend your knees. If you're already standing, stay standing. If you're still in your forward fold, bend your knees, roll up. One vertebrae at a time. Yeah. We're going to take a tree pose. So walk your toes closer together. And there's going to be some stages you can stay in. You want to stay wherever you're feeling good. So begin to bring your weight into your left foot. Press your left big toe down into the mat. Take your right foot. We're going to take tree. So you can keep your toes on the mat, bringing your inner arch to your ankle. You can bring it to your calf. Or you can bring it to inner thigh. If you're going to inner thigh, you want to press both of these things into each other. Your foot into your thigh into your foot. And then just bring your hands to your heart center. How are we doing?
Oh, yeah.
Tree's a little bit in the wind.
You can be a breezy tree, that's okay. Balance, that's the whole thing. Balance is so fickle. It's going to be different for everybody by the minute, by the day. So if you want to raise your hands up, grow your tree. If you're in that position, you can do that now. Yeah. Grow your tree. All right, take one inhale here. And then exhale, just bring it back down. Nice. I don't want to block your
No, it's
people
good.
from
You're
viewing
good.
you.
Stay in the middle.
So begin to bring that weight now into your right foot. Press down into your right big toe. That's going to activate your quad. Lift your left foot up. So you can keep those toes on the mat. You can also bring to calf, or you can bring into your inner thigh. The hands then come to heart center. You want to look at something also that's not moving. That's going to help with your stability. And then you can raise your hands up.
Keith's doing such a good job.
They're watching you. It's the thing that's not moving to you. Oh, look, are we getting comments? Comedy crew.
We don't want to know. We don't want to know.
Take an inhale, reach up.
Good job, Tunji.
Yeah, and then exhale, just let it go. Nice. We've got a little bit of time. Let's do a balancing or standing half moon, sorry. We don't want to do balancing half moon. We're going to do standing half moon. So bring your feet back together. Interlace your fingers, let your index fingers just point up toward the ceiling. On your inhale, reach up and just grip your skull in between your biceps. On your inhale, give yourself that length. And on your exhale, bend over to the right. So bump your left hip out. This is stretching all those ribs, those intercostal muscles that separate each rib bone. Pressing your hip out to the left. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, come back to center. Take another inhale, reach up. And then exhale over to the left, bumping your right hip out to the right, feeling that good stretch. Take a big inhale, stretch into your ribs. And then exhale, come back to center. Let's take a little back bend here. Reach up, maybe drop your head back. And then forward fold. You can walk your hands back forward into your upper push-up plank or into your down dog. If you want to take a flow, go upper push-up plank. Go ahead and take it. If you want to go back into down dog, you can do that too. Nice. And then bring your knees down to the mat. Let's get into some final stretches. We've only got 5 minutes left. I know, we should do this for a whole hour. Are you sure? Yes. I bet the Facebook universe would love it. Oh, we have a question for Robin.
Yeah, what is it?
Oh, after we're done. Okay, so just bring your hips to the middle of your mat. Bring your legs out long in front of you. Yeah, flex your toes up toward the ceiling. This fleshy part underneath your sit bones, it's also called your butt. Just move it out of the way a little bit so that your sit bones make better contact with the mat. On your inhale, reach your arms up and then just fold forward. So if you can reach toes, that's great. If you can reach ankles, shins, just try to get into that stretch for a moment. And all you got to do here is let gravity do the work. Just hang your head heavy. Nice, good stretch. Take another inhale here. And then just roll up one vertebrae at a time. Should we do a little core work?
Oh, yes.
It's my favorite. Being a yoga teacher, it's my favorite. Bring your feet together. Bring your feet down on the mat. Awesome. So we're just going to roll back onto those sit bones I was talking about. If your feet come up from the mat and you want to just keep your toes here, you can do that. We're actually going to go into a modified boat pose where we're actually going to lift our feet up, but you can keep them down on the mat too. And we're just going to put our hands to either side of our legs. Yeah, this is it, modified boat pose. Just keep your chest lifted. We're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3 minutes.
1 more minute.
And 1. So now lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Awesome. Maybe you take a good stretch here, like your good morning stretch. Reach your hands really wide. And then let's take a bound butterfly. So we're going to bring the soles of our feet together and interlace our fingers. Yeah. No? No. Oh, look. See, this is helping us stretch those hips. Our hips do so much for us all day long. They need a good stretch every once in a while. Yeah, see, that was awesome. Press your knees away from your torso. Take one more inhale here. And then everyone's favorite is happy baby. Just open up your legs.
I'm going to skip that.
Shine the tops of your feet up. You want to do happy baby?
Yeah, I do.
Just because, all right. It's all right. Yeah, well, we would normally do a happy baby. And then we would go into a shavasana just to rest. Does anyone want to do a shavasana?
Yes.
Okay, well, that is just you lie flat.
I'm all over that.
Yes.
I'm really good at this part.
Here's where you relax your body. You let all that work soak in that you've just done. You let your breath come back to normal. And you even close your eyes. Yeah, so we'll wake you guys up in an hour. Although, Robin, you've got one last question.
What's that question, Alex? You know, I'm pretty labored right now. What is it? Mhm. Ooh, that's an awesome, good question about character areas. Somebody asked about character areas and how they can be incorporated in project design. And that's like right up mine and Randy's alley, even though I just want to say Randy is not here. Randy has left the building, but one of the things in our council committee is we are really working on the final designs and how we can ensure that we incorporate design standards and the character area plans into the vision of the project and each project individually. So that's something that Randy and I take very seriously and definitely will be in the forefront of our discussions in our community, in our council committee. So I appreciate that question because I think it's really important to incorporate the ideas of our residents and our neighborhoods into the designs of the projects that come before us. So thank you for that. With that, are we good? I just want to thank our instructor, Elizabeth Higgins. Thank you, Higgins. Very nice. And our community over here, thank you for coming. Thank you. Tim and Sean and Alex and Chris and Keith, who did nothing, and Dan and Jason, you guys are awesome. Just really want to say thanks for, letting us do this virtual roundtable. Not the best situation we can't work for. We really look forward to being back together. But this is great. This is the second best thing, and you guys are awesome. And just thanks for the residents that tuned in. We really do appreciate it. Again, thanks, Higgins. Woo! Bye, everybody.